Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Sorry we didn't upload on Monday because it was a 3-day festival for the 50th installation of Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and it was really crazy.
It was.
In a good way.
Oh, yeah. It was busy, I think is what she's trying to say.
Yeah, okay, it was busy.
It was wonderful, busy, amazing. So many glorious devotees, senior devotees, pioneers, and second generation senior devotees. We don't want to forget about the second generation senior devotees. And yeah, young people.
There will be a Bhakti Vision vlog coming out.
When?
Soon.
Coming soon to
can I just say shout out to all the people that were coming up to me over the 3-day festival at the manor. I was just swamped with all these like...
Swamped?
No, what's the word?
I don't know. Swamped would be the word, but it usually means like hundreds or something.
I was swamped then by all these like people who, watch Bhakti Vision and Bhagavatam Bites.
Okay.
Shout out to my people.
Shout out to the people. Okay.
Especially, I forgot your name, which is terrible. Mataji in Bournemouth. Remember we spoke on Sunday? Not the Mataji that was inviting me to Janmashtami, but you were standing next to him. Yeah, Nikunj Manjari. You know who you are. And you took the pictures for her and all that. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, even though she doesn't remember your name.
Yeah, but you know who you are.
You can put it in the comments if you're watching. Meanwhile, we're here to read the Bhagavatam.
I'm sorry,
we'd like to really encourage everyone to please read Srila Prabhupada's books regularly.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference in life.
Alright, come on. Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 39.
39, no, I think it's 42.
Oh, we did a reading with Kalakanti.
Yeah.
So alright.
So
4742.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
In case it looks a bit weird, because this brick wall behind us, we're in our garden, it's just a wall,
but we chose this spot because it's the only spot with shade and it's a nice warm day. I think it's lovely. I'd be happily sitting right over there in that sun.
No, I don't think it's normal to sit in the sun.
You're right. Okay, text 42.
Alright. The demigod said, "My dear Lord, formerly when there was a devastation, you conserved all the different energies of material manifestation. At that time, all the inhabitants of the higher planets, represented by such liberated souls as Sanaka, were meditating on you by philosophical speculation. You are therefore the original person, and you rest in the water of devastation on the bed of the Shesha snake. Now today you are visible to us, who are all your servants. Please give us protection."
Krishna is our only shelter.
Purport. The devastation indicated in this verse is the partial devastation of the lower planets within the universe when Lord Brahma goes to sleep. The higher planetary systems, beginning with Mahaloka, Janaloka and Tapaloka, are not inundated at the time of this devastation. The Lord is the creator as indicated in this verse because the energies of creation are manifested through his body, and after annihilation he conserves all the energy within his abdomen. Far out.
Is that it?
That's okay.
So this is the demigods. They're offering their prayers now to the Lord who's appeared in the sacrificial arena. And Sanaka is kind of leading them. And he's saying, you're the original person, you rest in the water of devastation on Seshanag. And now today you're visible to us who are all your servants. So it's a nice mood. And then requesting, you please give us protection. But the Prabhupada in the purport is starting to open up is the principle of partial devastation. And during that, Lord Brahma, he goes to sleep. That's a partial devastation, which means it happens at the end of a day of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma lives also 365 days in a year for 100 years. But at the end of the day of Lord Brahma, at the end of a 12-hour day, then he goes to sleep for 12 hours, and at that time there's a partial devastation that manifests and happens. And it explains here that the higher planetary systems, beginning with Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, they're not inundated at that time, so they're safe. But the Lord, and it says the Lord is the creator, is indicated in this verse because the energies of creation are manifested through his body, and after annihilation he conserves. So then everything at the partial annihilation, it seems to say that it goes into his abdomen.
That's what I thought was far out.
I know that happens at the time of complete devastation. But it seems that also happens at the time of partial, which is at the end of each day of Lord Brahma. Another significant point in this verse is that the demigods said, we are all your servants, Brityan, give us protection. The demigods depend on the protection of Vishnu. They are not independent. Bhagavad Gita therefore condemns the worship of demigods because there is no need of it, and clearly states that only those who have lost their sense go asking favors of the demigods. Generally, if anyone has material desires to be fulfilled, he can ask Vishnu instead of going to the demigods. I often say this to devotees and they think, no, we're not supposed to ask for anything. And I'm like, yeah, of course, a pure devotee doesn't ask for anything, but if you're not a pure devotee, which, please raise your hands, all the pure devotees out there, you can put your raised hand in the thing. Now, of course, we can discuss that whole pure devotee, because Prabhupada said a mango is a mango. So whether you're ripe or whether you're green, it's still a mango. So we may be pure devotees in intention, but not pure devotees in perfection. Like that. But so the point is, if you're a pure devotee, then of course you don't ask for anything. But Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, akama sarva kama va moksha kama udara dihi, that basically if akama, if you have no desires, sarva kama, if you're full of desires, or if you moksha kama, desire liberation, whatever it is, you should come to me. So you should go to the Lord. So those who are servants or devotees of the Lord are not very much concerned with fruitive activities. Sorry, I skipped a little bit there. Go ask him for favors. Generally, if anyone has material desires to be fulfilled, he can ask Vishnu instead of going to the demigods. Those who worship demigods are not very intelligent because the demigods say, we are your eternal servants. So, those who are servants or devotees of the Lord are not very much concerned with fruitive activities, the performance of prescribed yajnas or mental speculation. They simply serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead sincerely with love and faith, performing everything with that loving service, and the Lord gives such devotees direct protection. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, simply surrender unto me and I will give you protection from all the reactions of sinful activities. Excuse me. This material world is so created that one has to act sinfully, knowingly or unknowingly. And unless his life is dedicated to Vishnu, he has to suffer all the reactions of sinful activities. But one who surrenders and dedicates his life for the service of the Lord has direct protection from the Lord. He has no fear of suffering from sinful activities, nor does he desire willingly or unwillingly to do anything that is sinful. Interesting last bit. So Prabhupada says that one has to act sinfully if he is, but if dedicated to Vishnu, then there's no reaction. So being in the material world means that we're acting sinful. What does that mean? We could just pose that question and get you all to answer that question. But the principle is that even if we're trying not to do something, still, just right now, I just had to scratch my eyebrow, and I may have annihilated like a whole forest or jungle of living entities on my eyebrow. And you're all like, what is he talking about? But there are microscopic bugs living all over our body. You don't want to hear that.
We don't want to repeat of a previous.
By the way, Sri Devi Gopi said that I should get lots of spiders and perpetually put them on my wife during the filming.
That's terrible, Sri Devi Gopi.
It's not a very nice thing to say. But anyway, there are, I forget what it is. If you drink water, you kill some living entities. If you light a fire, you have to kill some living entities. If you go to the toilet, you kill some living entities. I forget what the other things were. It's like 5 activities that you basically have to perform to live in the material world. And every time you do it, there's a likelihood you're killing. If you just walk across the grass, you're probably killing and wiping out so many living entities. So we're always committing some sinful activity because we're often generally taking the life of something else, some other living entity. And if we're not doing that consciously, like I'm taking this life so that you can take my life, or I'm taking your life as a dedicated service to God, then it's a sinful activity, so we have to pay the price. But here what it's saying is that if we're dedicated to Vishnu, then there is no reaction for that. But that doesn't mean that we can then go out and do all kinds of sinful activities and then just say, well, I'm dedicated to Vishnu, it doesn't matter, I won't get any reaction. That is actually an offense. Seventh offense against the holy name is to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy names of the Lord. So that is an offense, and that will cause problems. Any thoughts?
No.
We call those things, like, if you catch them, you can make a wish. I forget what they're called, but yeah. Okay.
Alright, text 43. The Gandharvas said, Dear Lord, all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra and Marichi, and the great sages are all only differentiated parts and parcels of your body. You are the supreme, almighty, great. The whole creation is just like a plaything for you. We always accept you as the supreme personality of Godhead, and we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Purport. And the Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. There may be many gods from Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra and Chandra, down to the rulers of the lower planetary systems, the presidents, ministers, chairmen and kings. In fact, anyone can think that he is God. That is the false, puffed up conviction of material life. Actually, Vishnu is the supreme Lord, but there is even one above Vishnu. For Vishnu is also the plenary portion of a part of Krishna. In this verse, this is referred to by the word samsa, which refers to part and parcel of a part and parcel. There are similar verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which indicate that the Supreme Lord's parts and parcels again expand into other parts and parcels. As described in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many manifestations of Vishnu and many manifestations of living entities. Vishnu manifestations are called swamsa, partial manifestations, and the living entities are called vibhinamsa. The demigods like Brahma and Indra have been promoted to such exalted positions by pious activities and austerities. But actually Vishnu or Krishna is the master of everyone. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhritya. This means that Krishna alone is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all others, even the Vishnu Tattva, and certainly the living entities, are his servitors. Baladev is the immediate expansion of Krishna. He also engages in the service of Krishna, and certainly the ordinary living entities are serving. Everyone is created constitutionally for serving Krishna. Here the Gandharvas acknowledge that although the demigods may represent themselves as the supreme, actually they are not supreme. Real supremacy belongs to Krishna. Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is the only Supreme Lord. Worship of Krishna alone, therefore, includes worship of all the parts and parcels, just as watering the root of a tree also waters all the branches, twigs, leaves and flowers. This point, Baladev is the immediate expansion of Krishna. I remember hearing a lecture about Prabhupada saying that Krishna and Balaram are non-different. One's black and one's white. It's so cute. I've also heard lecture that the same with Radharani, that she's like the she-god because they're non-different. I also thought it was quite powerful actually for all you feminists.
Feminine aspect of God.
That's it.
Okay. That's it. Should we end there?
Well, that's all I've got to say, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The next purport is pretty long, so
alright,
we'll save it for another day. Alright, thank you all very, very much. Please, please, please read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Even if you just read a little bit each day, 1 page, 2 page, it makes a huge difference, and after a month you'll be amazed. You'll be like 60 pages in, and like, oh wow, that is so good, that is so cool, I like this part. So read the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.